Looks like you got to lay the hook here over under a pretty low 42.5. How do you break this game down?
This one came to me in terms of, one, I feel like it should be like a rivalry name. Maybe there is. I couldn't find one, but both teams playing in the Big 12 years ago and then now being in the SEC, they've actually only played once since 2011. Missouri won last year by a touchdown. This one, Missouri is a tricky handicap because I almost wrote them off, like looking to fade them down the stretch of the season. Their head coach Drinkwitz, he's being thrown out there for other jobs. They dropped a couple in a row, quarterback injuries. But just last week, they scored 49 points, almost 50 points against Mississippi State. That's a pretty good Mississippi State team. Some of these records in the SEC that teams are sporting, you just can't kind of go off the blimp's view of what the record is. Being able to put up almost 50 points against Mississippi State, that kind of changes things with Missouri. But Oklahoma on the other side, I mean, the last two wins, maybe the two best consecutive wins in the country. They went on the road at Tennessee, won outright as a dog, and then backed it up going on the road to Tuscaloosa, winning outright as a dog against Alabama. So two very impressive wins, a bye week in between. So it kind of sets up well for Oklahoma. This defense has been for real. I mean, in terms of their over-under numbers, they're just 2-8 to the under. So an under trender, if you're looking to bet the total, it's a 42 is the total. But I wouldn't be betting it over. That's what I'm getting at. Sidewise, though, I think there's a matchup handicap here where Missouri, their run rate is almost 60%, meaning they run the ball a lot. And now they're going up against Oklahoma. They're going right into the strength of this defense. This Oklahoma run defense, one of the best in the country. They're letting up less than 2.5 yards per rush. I think it's going to kind of be a long day offensively for Missouri. It makes me look towards Oklahoma. The number was 9, then 8. Now we're getting 7.5s out there. And as we're talking on Wednesday, kind of following these line moves, a lot of times you don't get a kickback, buy back up, at least at this point in the week. So I might actually, I guess my advice on this one is if this keeps running down here, if Oklahoma does get to a 7 flat, that's an important, hook on the 7. If we can get that hook off of the 7, just get Oklahoma 7 in the next day or two, that might be a time to jump on the Sooners here at home against Missouri. Well, tonight, got a 5% max limit up and available. Been hot. It's been a heck of a run in terms of just college football overall. Longer term numbers this season in both NFL and college football have been great. I mean, over 40% profit in college football alone, 48-30. Might not sound that sexy, but it's 61% year to date, and also on a 52, 27, 66% overall run. That's since early September. And then, hey, if you're into kind of trends happening in the short term, certain days, a 12-0 Wednesday night run. A lot of that being Maction and Sunbelt. So these midweek games, they've been profitable and have a big bet up for tonight's MAC game, the game that we did not break down on the show, Andy.